Where are we?
You're at my house in Hertfordshire, where I've lived for 13 years, because we have lots of dogs and children, and we just thought it would be nice to live in the country. I was living in Crouch End, and that's where we shot Shaun of the Dead, so it was like I was living in the set of my own film.
Hello, and you have 3 schnauzers.
We have 2 schnauzers and a cockapoo.
schnauzers.
That's Willow. This is Branwell.
How often are you in the ice plunge?
Every day. It's always at like 3 degrees or whatever. But,
3?
Yeah.
Well, that's quite brutal. Yeah, I do 6 degrees for 6 minutes.
Oh, that's good. I do 3 degrees for 3 minutes.
Yeah. They say a degree a minute, don't they?
Come and see my place where I DJ.
Oh, amazing.
This is my little escape room. So I come up here and turn up the house music really loud, and Bramwell just sits there.
Can I get a demo?
Yeah.
Bring the action.
When you was in the club, you're gonna do the shit. Britney, bitch.
DJing reminds me of doing stand-up comedy, in that you have an audience and they react immediately to what you're doing. They either laugh or you die, you know? And with DJing, they either dance or you die. No, this is my office. I built it as far away from my house as possible,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't get distracted.
And this is for writing.
Yeah.
What's 23 mean to you?
That is the house number from Spaced. This is everything to do with my writing in here.
It's the actual shirt.
One of them. I think there were about 22. This would be probably towards the end of the movie, because it's got the maximum amount of blood on it and pen. There's one here, and then there's one in Peter Jackson's museum in Wellington. I've just been adapting a book, which I'm hoping to direct, which I can't really talk about because I don't want to curse it. I really enjoyed that as well. I've never adapted a book before.
So you got it to 100 pages.
115.
Well done.
That was a gift from Elstree Studios. That's a picture of Harrison Ford practicing with his whip for Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's a story that there's a community of snakes in Elstree who are descendants of the Well of the Souls. The snake.
Really?
Yeah, because there were so many of them. Some escaped, and so the legend goes that if you see a snake in Elstree, it's probably a descendant of one of the ones from Raiders of the Lost
It's an
Ark.
indie snake.
Yeah. And these are all my dogs, obviously. That weird one of Willow with military uniform was a sort of a joke gift from my wife. Bramwell there, and Cookie, and that's little Myrtle who passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. I buried Minnie, our first dog,
Yeah.
and that was arduous and traumatic. And in the morning I buried her. It was snowy, and I dug this hole, like proper deep hole as well, laid her to rest. Filled it. I was covered in mud and crying. And then that evening, I gave Steven Spielberg his Icon Award at the Empire Awards. It was like the lowest I could be and the highest I could be in one day. It's a picture of my husband, Nick, up there.
Yes. And he's just got Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, he's playing Hagrid.
How good's that?
It's amazing.
Tell me about Coldplay. They call you a member. What's that about?
I played harmonica with them at the V Festival in 2001. And I did it a couple of times. And then it became like a thing that whenever they were in London, I'd go up on stage but then that just was too nerve-wracking for me because I'm not used to playing in front of 80,000 people. I can play the drums, so I can keep a beat without worrying about hitting a bomb note, you know. So I did that at Wembley and Glastonbury. It's great to get a little bit of vicarious rock star energy.
I bet. Do you have a drum kit?
Yeah, I do. Because my daughter plays, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's down in the drum shed. I'll show you the drum shed.
I'd love to see the drum shed. With your director, right?
I want to be, yeah. I mean, I've directed small things, but I want to direct a feature, which I'm trying to just get financed at the moment.
Is that what you're writing?
Yeah.
So you're writing to direct?
Yeah. But it's such a weird time in the film industry because everything's changed so much with exhibition and the way we consume cinema. It's the community of watching a film with other people, you know. And it's a tribe of ours that I think we're losing.
So yours is an original idea.
It's based on a book.
And you want it in cinema?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a film, and that's where films should be seen. You know? All right, here we go.
Yes!
Yeah. Swish!
Lovely. Yes,
There we go.
The drum room.
Yeah, this is Tilly's drum shed. I drum open-handed though. I grew up in a music shop when I was really small. There's always people hanging out at the shop, all these greasy geezers drinking Castrol Lager and not doing any work, smoking tabs. I was about 150 yards from a cinema.
Okay.
Like the ABC was just down the road. And so me and my dad used to go see movies together when I was little. The first film I remember seeing is Sinbad in the Eye of the Tiger. Tilly, she's got rhythm, you know. And she learns like songs, they'll do like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something. And she was we were at Glastonbury last year and she got some drum advice from Dave Grohl.
So where are we going now?
To my screening room, because that's got quite a nice essence of me in it. And essence of dog sick as well, because Bramwell threw up. This is my little security guard.
Oh, amazing. And you've got some serious posters.
Yeah. This is where we worship. It smells okay actually. I was worried it might stink of dog sick. This is where we
What
spend
a gorgeous
every
cinema.
weekend. Or the ceremony of a proper cinema. I recorded my voices for a film called Luck in here, and I think I've done a bit of Ice Age in here, because they can bring the equipment and then as soon as you shut the door it's completely soundproof.
And you don't have to go to Soho.
Always looking for the
Looking
reason
for the
not to go
win.
into town. That's me.
You've been sober for how many years?
13. No, 15.
And you've lived here?
13. Working on a film like Mission Impossible, the first time I really sort of rediscovered keeping in shape was on Ghost Protocol, which is the fourth one. Ghost Protocol, I lose about 20 pounds in an edit. Like there's a scene of us outside in Red Square.
4 months apart or something?
Yeah, then it cuts indoors and I'm like... If you have an addictive personality, then the trick is to swap out the addictions for something that's better for you, you know?
The film that you're putting, can you say anything about it? Like what genre it is? Or
Yeah, it's a sort of, I guess, I hesitate to call it a horror movie, but it is very scary. It's a ghost story. It's based on a novel which was given to me as a gift. I kind of was set off on this journey to try and get the rights, and I spoke to the author, and they were being courted by a different production company and ended up choosing them. And I guess it was because, you know, my background is comedy, and the trouble with doing comedy is that no one subsequently ever takes you seriously, you know. And it's an odd thing about comedy. But then that didn't work out and the rights became available again. So I'm hoping that now, if I can get some people interested in making it, I'll make it. Yeah, I've learned a lot from Christopher McQuarrie actually, working with him as a director. Everything in the frame, every facet of the frame is in action, and there's never any fat on what he does. It's really, really clever, economical storytelling, and I really, really admire that. Steven Spielberg's like that too. He sort of blew my mind when I worked with him, because he just has this intuitive, it's like he... Whoa. There you go. Did you just get a bite? Yeah, you know in The Matrix when Neo sees in The Matrix, you know, like suddenly everything is like green and cascading. That's how Steven sees. He sees in film. That's how he sees the world. I'm always really impressed by people that can do things I can't do, you know, musicians or artists or, you know, people that have amazing skill that I lack. But with directing, I feel that's attainable, you know. I feel like, yeah, I think that way too, you know, I see things like that too. And having worked with Edgar so much, and I just feel like it's time.
Yeah,
crack at
good.
it, you know.
Can you tell me about Tom Cruise? And there is a real theme coming through of this sort of, I suppose, the pursuit of excellence
Yeah.
at a level that you don't see everywhere.
His journey is extremely simple when you look at it. He's just always given 100% to everything that he does, everything. So diligent and so invested in what he's doing. I kind of like that. I like that way of working. Egg is a perfectionist as well. Wants to just get it right, isn't happy with that will do. You know, mediocrity is not in either of those people's vocabulary. And it's always nice to come home as well, you know, when you've been away. It's always a slight bumpy re-entry.
No.
Like Mo's always like, oh, you've just been having people running around after you. You just think you can just sit down and do nothing. I'm like, no, well, no. And well, yes and no.
But yes.
But yes. I grew up in Gloucester. My mum was very much into sort of amateur drama. Community theatre, they call it in America. Having been such a kind of fan of cinema growing up, the idea of being in films became my main sort of desire, really.
So did you study?
I studied theatre
Yeah.
studies in Stratford-on-Avon, and then I did a film television degree, theatre film television degree at Bristol University.
And then how did stand-up come in?
One of the kids in our year, Dominic Diamond, he did some stand-up, and I remember looking at him thinking, oh, maybe I could do that. You know, it seemed really fun. Me and Dominic and a bunch of other people, David Walliams and Jason Bradbury and Mafamwi Moore, who's now a producer at the BBC. We started a comedy club in Clifton. Stand-up was like something you could just do, and I'd always anticipated getting back into acting. I met my agent, Dawn, who I've been with for 30 years, and I did a gig at the Chiswick Comedy Club, and Graham Linehan and Arthur Matthews were in the audience, and they were developing Big Train and a show called Hippies, and they sort of came up to me afterwards and said, do you want to come and do this show? They'd do the pilot for Big Train. And that was how I got back into acting, through sketch comedy, and then sitcom, and then, you know, here we are. Who's that, Brahma? Who's that? What the fuck is that? Get it. Get that rabbit.
I'm going to leave you here at your
Okay.
gorgeous tennis court.
Goodbye.
Nice life.
All right, buddy.
Thanks a million.
Take care.
Cheers, buddy.